All right, I'd like to welcome to Head Kick Audio. We got Dan the Huntsman Rojas. We like this. We like this nickname a lot.
All
And
right,
you'll be
all right.
competing over at the Bare Knuckle Spectacular over at Sparta, which is going to be taking place at the Outlaw Saloon August 21st, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It'll be August 21st. So, really
A lot of
excited for
dates
this
up there.
event.
Yeah, I got a lot of dates that I got to keep track
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
I'll be watching your fight, and then the very next week I'll be commentating, and then
Mhm.
so it keeps going like that. But look, we were talking about your first fight against the Ulysses Molina, right? Something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, Ulysses Molina. Yeah, so he was the fifth ranked prospect on the West Coast. I think he had a record of like 6-1 or 6-2. I'm not exactly sure, but it was a really tough fight, and it was a really big opportunity Sparta gave me there to kind of go out there and face that tough of opponent, and throw down like that. So I was really grateful for the opportunity and just the challenge of that fight itself.
Not a bad start to your MMA career, my friend.
No, no, I guess it's definitely it's a strong start.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to be doing a little bit of this over here, man.
Nah, I gotta stay humble. Gotta stay humble. That keeps me making sure that I'm doing the training at the intensity I need to.
I'd be a
Keeps me
horrible,
hungry.
horrible fighter these days. I'd be a horrible fighter these days. I'm glad I'm not doing it no more because I just get to interview you guys and you guys are all respectful and humble. I'd be the worst. I'd be the worst, right? But you got to win a fight to have the bragging rights, and you accomplished that in your last and first fight with Sparta. You fought a very tough guy. He was 6-1 at the time. He fell to 6-2 after he got in there with the Huntsman. So, what does the opponent on the 21st do well that we got to keep an eye on?
I think Beck is abnormally tall for the weight class. I think he's like 6'1", 6 feet for bantamweight, and that's gonna give him a good reach. But I'm confident in my in and out movement and my speed. I also don't think that he's going to be relatively strong, being that tall and yet still being at 135.
Yeah, there have been guys that have been very tall and had limited success in the weight class. The length, I believe, would come into play during like clinches, maybe work up against the cage, and obviously if the fight hits the floor, he's got these long flaily
Mhm,
limbs,
mhm. Yeah,
so that could
absolutely.
definitely come into play there. But as the shorter fighter, we rely on our footwork, our head movement, like you were saying, our in and out. Also, we have opportunities up against the cage being the shorter guy. Trust me,
Mhm.
I'm short as hell. I'm only 5'7" on a very, very good day. Okay. So up against the cage, there are some opportunities there. But if you were to fight the Huntsman of the last time you competed, how would you fare?
Um, my cardio has improved significantly. I've made sure I've been running consistently, which is something I didn't do with that last fight camp. My previous fight camp, I ended up coming down with COVID, and I was out for like 10 days, and then I also ended up cutting my hand on the line. I had to get like 8 stitches in my left hand. And so like I literally like I couldn't like do push-ups. I couldn't like like hit or anything with like my lead hand. So I was out for, I want to say, probably a little over 2.5 weeks that fight camp. So that hurt my cardio, and that definitely showed in the third round against Ulysses Molina. I was gassed. I was completely spent after defending that Peruvian necktie to triangle to armbar. You know, so no, so that's something that I've definitely made sure I improved this time around is my cardio. So that's something I'm looking to show off.
Well, and the great thing about having that weapon in your arsenal is if the other guy don't got it, it shows. It shows, and then it becomes an absolute fucking nightmare for the other guy.
Hmm. Yeah, that's, I mean, like the most successful fighters are those that have the best cardio generally. I mean, you look at Khabib. It's not only is his, like, his wrestling, godly. It's also just his cardio. The guy literally is relentless. He's a tsunami. So it's just like model your work ethic after guys like that, and you'll find success for sure.
Absolutely. I guess he just picked up soccer. I I heard he got signed to some league or something like that.
I saw a clip of him playing soccer. I had no idea that he was actually like pursuing it like that. That's awesome. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'll correct myself there. It was football. It wasn't
Okay. Yeah.
American. It's football. Okay,
Yeah. He might come
so
after you, man.
yeah, he might, and that is just something that I don't want. But I mean, that's pretty cool that you got guys that have made the transition. I believe Kenny Florian played some soccer, maybe Jose Aldo, but
Mhm.
so outside of fighting, like, well, first let's start how you got here. I'd like to know your story on how you got into fighting, and were there any other sports involved in your life prior to fighting?
Absolutely. So my journey actually starts kind of like relatively young. Growing up, my older brother had always been kind of like a martial arts nerd and was just like into all the Bruce Lee movies and everything, and like foreign action martial arts type movies. Um, and he himself practiced taekwondo for a very long time. Was also an instructor at one point in his life, and he'd actually introduced me and my younger brother to taekwondo in martial arts, I think, when we were like 12 years old. So that's where my martial arts journey began. I was 12 years old as a white belt, learning how to do taekwondo under my older brother at the time was a third degree black belt. Um, so slowly from there, I had eventually, taken, I want to say I'd pursued it for about two years, and I got to my recommended black belt, and I started my freshman year in high school. Uh, and I started wrestling. And the intensity of wrestling was just it was on a whole nother level from point sparring and taekwondo, at the time when I was as a color belt, light contact, all of that. And so I chose to quit doing taekwondo and fully pursue wrestling. And I moved up to Massachusetts to live with my dad. And so I wrestled at Clinton, Neshoba. It was a shared team as I was in this tiny Irish town, Clinton, Massachusetts. And wrestled up there for 3 years, and that's kind of what brought me to the intensity of mixed martial arts. I guess you could say that was my first taste of something that intense. And after I got out of high school, I missed wrestling. I missed that grind. I missed just the camaraderie. I missed, it's a unique type of family. And I had always wanted that feeling back. So that's kind of what slowly attracted me back to mixed martial arts was one, I wanted to combine taekwondo and I wanted to also pursue mixed martial arts because it had the same, intensity as wrestling, if not more. And so that's kind of what brought me back, or I could say back to martial arts, or back to my taekwondo, and into the mixed martial arts world, was wanting to get my black belt in taekwondo, which I eventually did. So I'm a first degree black belt in taekwondo, and I wanted to start, doing wrestling. And I was like, why not be able to put these two things together? So that's mixed martial arts.
And yeah, I mean, it couldn't be any more beautiful than that because you can kick people in the head, which, us over here at Head Kick Out of Your certainly do appreciate, or you can grind somebody the fuck out over, 12 or 15 minutes. So
Mm-hmm.
either way, you get to utilize all the tools that are on the belt, and you are not limited. It's
Yeah.
not like, in Taekwondo, if you get donked in the head, well, shit, now I got to shoot for this takedown. No, can't do that. Or
Right.
you're
Right.
wrestling some guy and he's getting the better. You can't kick him in the head. You just can't do it.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep.
In the cage, you absolutely can. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. I love
It's
it.
okay. And who did you model, like what fighters were you looking up to? I don't want to say, modeled your fighting style or whatever,
Right.
but go ahead.
I think there's I've been into UFC and watching mixed martial arts since a young age. So I'd say like one of my earlier like people that I really kind of looked up to and was a fan of was Anthony Pettis, Anthony Showtime Pettis. I actually he was in the same Taekwondo organization as I was, and I grew up watching him compete in Taekwondo. And then it was kind of like, I actually remember it was like, I think it was back in like 2008 Worlds or something like that. And it was a huge tournament. So of course Anthony Pettis was there, and it was, my brother ended up whispering to me about like this new thing that it had already been on the rise for a while, but to him it was new, and it was MMA. And it was like, so it's before it started really coming to its like golden age and like really blossoming everywhere. And so it was interesting just to kind of, grow up watching Anthony Pettis take that taekwondo, having seen him utilize his taekwondo and then put it into the cage like that at that level. And that to me it literally showed me that you could do it. It's like, this is how you do it. And that to me was really inspiring because it's a blueprint, and that's amazing to be able to witness that. So Anthony Pettis was probably one of my earliest role models, I would say, that I even modeled some of my, style off of, or want to. And then of course there's like that what I call like that Trinity period, where it was like it was TJ Dillashaw, Dominic Cruz, and Cody Nellup. All of them were like going back and forth like for that bantamweight championship. For me, that's like the golden age of bantamweight, and all three of those guys, I would love to take a bit and a piece from all of them and apply it. Definitely.
Not a bad trio to
Yeah.
take some lessons from, for sure.
Yeah.
All those guys are fucking killers. Oh, that's awesome. And so when you were wrestling, what was your weight? What was your division?
I started my freshman year. I think I was like 103. It was tiny, and then I went up to like 135. I had a huge growth spurt my sophomore year, and I basically wrestled at 135 all of my wrestling career. So.
Okay, so the weight making 135, it's been consistent since you were in high school, so it's never been an issue.
No. It's like I think I'm getting a little big now, and honestly, I think this is probably going to be maybe one of the last times I cut to 35. So it's just I put on a little more muscle now since high school, and it is a cut. It's definitely within my range, and it's home. Like I did this 4 years wrestling, so it's like this is nothing new to me. Like this is it's what I've been doing. So I'm not worried about the cut, but definitely I think that it is a larger cut, and I would like to maybe go to 45.
Well, and the time to do that is, while you're still an amateur, get your feet wet in a new division and see how you fare against guys that are a little bit bigger. And the one thing that I've, witnessed, watching a lot of local and regional shows is guys will compete at higher weight classes during their amateur years and then, settle on a lower weight class as they go pro. They're in their amateurs, just getting all that experience, and then once they're ready to turn pro, they kind of go to the weight class that more suits their needs. You got a guy like what is it? Shit. Anyway, my brain will do that. It'll let me have a thought and then will not let me finish. It will not let me finish.
I tell you, it happens to me too.
We'll go ahead and we'll just put that to the side real quick, and then we'll go to this question that I ask everybody on my show. Okay. You don't come on Head Kick Audio without getting asked this question. Okay. So after the fight's over and the referee raises your hand, Big Mo says, "Dan, the Huntsman, Rojas, your winner." I want to talk about after that, because yes, that is a great moment. You being the winner of your second fight is a great moment. But to me, it's even greater afterwards when you have that post-fight victory meal. So I would like to know what the Huntsman is going to eat to celebrate his second win. And it doesn't have to be, now let me clarify, it doesn't have to be directly after the fight. It doesn't have to be on the way home. It's whenever you have that meal that celebrates the victory.
I think some salmon and potatoes would be nice. Some nice salmon
and potatoes.
Yeah, it's heavier. I don't want to eat nothing heavy like that, but at the same time, it's good food.
Salmon and potatoes. Now, are you smoking the salmon, or are you grilling the salmon? What are we doing?
I'll probably bake it and then do like a dry rub on it, so that way it just kind of stays healthy. Simple.
This man is too clean.
Yeah.
The Huntsman is too clean. See, I was thinking, after the fight, you just, get your hand raised, immediately go to the forest and, kill yourself. The first thing that moved, take it home and cook it. I mean, that's what I was picturing.
Well, it's the Huntsman comes from me always hunting for a takedown or hunting for how I'm going to finish the fight. And so that's I'm always looking for how I'm hunting for that victory. So
well, you should be hunting for that victory meal also. You know what I'm saying? With your bare hands, with your fight shorts still on. You just go and kill the first thing that moves and then eat it. I mean, okay. But salmon and potatoes, it's not a bad meal. It's not a bad meal by any means. Okay. Well, what are you washing it down with?
Water.
Bro, how are you so clean?
Well, because I'm actually looking to go professional, so let's make a habit
Okay.
of clean living,
Okay. Okay.
The victory is the celebration, and the meal is fuel. But doesn't mean that I can't add some flavor to it, do some nice things, and put a rub on there, but yeah.
I mean, oh man, do you ever cheat?
Yeah, definitely. I love pizza. There are some times that I love myself some good, McDonald's or Taco Bell, without a doubt. But I mean, those are treats to me. So it's like,
Okay. Okay.
you
So
can,
that's not a
yeah, you can do that stuff every now and then.
okay. Okay. All right. And since the victory meal was a little I don't want to say like boring or but it was I since the victory meal was clean, when you cheat, okay, because we got to have a little bit of flavor in here,
Okay,
right? A
okay.
dry rub isn't going to cut it. When you do cheat, like what do you get? And if it's like, pizza, I want to know toppings. I want to know if there's a special joint that you like to get your pizza from. Go ahead and lay it on me.
I mean, well, honestly, I like breakfast food, and biscuits and gravy is kind of fire. So there's a few places here in Colorado Springs that have some really good biscuits and gravy. So
Now we're talking. Now we're
yeah,
talking. See,
you know.
biscuits and gravy. That is like one of the very few breakfasts that I can get my daughter to eat, like without saying, "Come on, sweetheart, let's finish your food. Come on, we
Right,
got
right.
places to go and people to see." If it's biscuits and gravy, I mean, she might finish before I do. You know what I mean? Biscuits and gravy is damn good.
It is. It is.
And you got to have the sausage gravy. You got to have the chunks of sausage in there, because if not, then
Mhm.
get
Yeah.
out of here. So I can respect biscuits and gravy way better than salmon and a baked potato. It's better. I'm gonna go ahead and just we'll go with that. So what are you expecting to get out of your second fight here? And then how soon are you looking to go professional?
I'm actually looking to go professional here very soon. Me and my coach have kind of talked about it, and my coach, to quote him, he said, "You're on the cusp." So there's things that I definitely need to work on, and I mean, even as a pro, should always be looking to grow and evolve, and so like it's a never-ending process at this point. But I'm at that point to where I'm getting ready to go pro. I do want to make a correction. I've had 5 fights in the cage. And the I have one fight under, I think it's like Daniel Rojas, and then I have another fight registered under like Danny Rojas. And so I can't find my first 3 fights, any record of them back in Missouri. But there was a really long hiatus that I took in between those fights. So I think between my March 27th fight, it was about five, almost 6 years. So I had taken a really, really long break, and I'm thinking that's what happened to the records of those. Um, and I think that probably also explains why I'm so eager and ready to go pro at this point. So it's yeah. So being in the cage 5 times, having won every single time, and I'm definitely looking to go pro. I
Okay.
have enough experience.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And then are you thinking about 45 for your pro debut?
No, I don't want to do that, but I think after I go pro and I find out, like, because I part of me thinks that when I go pro, guys cut more weight, like you were kind of saying. They kind of like, they get that experience up a little bit higher, and then once they go pro, they come down. So I think that I've already been kind of like semi making that pro cut, but I think I could put on a little more muscle and still cut down to 35. And at the professional level, that's probably what I should be doing. Um, but I want to see where I fare at the professional level. I think people at 135 on the pro level are just bigger, more around my size.
I think so. And the prospect of going professional after, like you said, the success that you've had, it's kind of you're chomping at the bit to kind of just make the transition already. You know what I mean? So, and then guys
Mhm.
at 35, you know, the I don't want to say like it's 35 is a very, very like it's a tough weight class to
Mhm.
compete in
Mhm.
because you got guys that, are skilled everywhere. Like it's not just, a one trick pony, or, everybody's cardio at 35 in the
Right.
professional, ranks is way better than the amateurs, because the
Yes.
amateurs is a place for guys like me, right? Guys because I competed at 35 a while back. Okay. And I didn't fare well. Okay. And I said farewell. So, the amateurs is for guys that, either, want to get the experience, want to just check something off their bucket list, or, guys that, think they're made for it.
Right.
And,
Right.
once you get to that professional level, then I feel that people are going to be more on par with where you're at.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. I think the second I step into that, it is going to be kind of like an eye opener, but I won't know that until I go through it. And personally, I want that. I want it to be challenging. That's why I do this, because it is the hardest thing I do. And at the end of the day, like I do this training, I train as hard as I can, and then I go in and I fight another guy that's done the exact same thing. And that I know is like, one, there's the spirit of competition that is just fulfilling to pursue that in itself. But then to win, it feels amazing. It is such validation of like all the hard work you put in, and and it is a wonderful feeling. And I would rather do nothing else in my life than to pursue something that hard and then succeed in it. So I embrace the challenge that it is going to take to become a professional athlete. I believe I'm already, working towards that, like my cardio, my work ethic, it's getting there. And so next it's just kind of like that next little step, and full committing.
Yeah. Okay. And do we have a job outside of, competing at the amateur ranks?
Yes. So I am a cook, and I kind of like right now I'm bouncing around between kitchens trying to find the right one. But I really do enjoy like the back of the house. That's a passion of mine. I love the pressure of the ticket time. I love, trying to be as fast as I can with my tickets. And then at the same time, it feels good to know that I'm feeding people. It's like people come into that restaurant that day to kind of like, one, to get their, to nourish themselves, so they can go on doing what they need to do through that day. But at the same time, they kind of come there for like a mental relaxation. That's why you go out. You go somewhere to get some nice food, so that, you can take your mind off of work, maybe for like, that lunch period or whatever, or maybe, taking somebody out for dinner, so it's like you are, giving someone something. And I find fulfillment in being a cook. So, and there's also just the benefits of being on my feet and using my hands all day. It works.
Absolutely, absolutely. And not only that, right? But like when somebody goes, my favorite place to eat is, and that's where you cook. And my favorite place to get this, specific meal, and that's where you work. That's your kitchen. You know what I mean? There's also a tiny little bit of, you know, I don't want to call it like validation, or like, but it's just kind of like, yeah, mhm, yeah,
uh,
yeah. That's
no,
that's my kitchen.
the kitchens are definitely like, it's one of those places. It's a territorial place, but it's like, if you can stand the heat of the kitchen, then like you'll thrive in it. If you can handle the pressure of ticket times and, a lunch rush, and not snap, not lose your shit, it kind of breeds a family. It's a camaraderie of itself. Anytime you put a group of people together and you force them to do something really difficult together, it forms a special type of bond. And kitchens do that, as well as like, an MMA team or a wrestling team or anything like that. So it's cool, and I like those types of bonds. And it's cool that I get to have that in both aspects of my life, my professional life, as well as what's about to also become my professional life.
Right?
you know so
Absolutely. And it keeps you like honest. It keeps you, you know what I mean? It keeps you
yeah.
like constantly in that type of atmosphere, whether it's
Yes.
in the cage, at the gym, or at work.
Yeah.
It's the same. But you kind of don't get a break from that then.
No, but I think it's like, that's why you definitely have to take vacations. The kitchen world is definitely somewhere where you can burn out. You can definitely push yourself way
Quite
too hard
literally
into it,
also.
and then, yeah, and then just fry. And that's just kind of like, no pun intended, but like, yeah, you just
Literally, yeah, I'm saying that
yeah.
quite literally you can also do that.
Yeah. Uh, so it's important to make sure, like, one, you get your time off, you take your vacations, or that you're working hours that you can handle. That's just like, that's the nature of the kitchen. That's the nature of the beast.
Okay. And when we vacation, like, what are some things that you like to do?
I actually, because I don't like me and my brother don't have the same schedule, so I like to spend as much time with him as I can. And by being a kitchen worker, I'm always working weekends. So he has weekends off, I don't. That's when we're busiest, and so I'll be I like to spend time with him. It's me and my brother are actually really close, so you know it's nice to have time with him. I love the mountains. The mountains are amazing out here in Colorado Springs. I can just lose myself like, for hours at end, just end up doing like a 15-mile hike, you know. But yeah. I don't travel too much. Simple guy. Like to just, chill.
And how many brothers do you have? Is it just the one?
I actually have an older brother, and then my older brother's younger, but he's not like really younger. He's like a year and a half younger than me. So younger brother. And then I also have a sister. So I have three siblings: two older sister, older brother, and then my younger brother.
Yeah. See, I've got, I think, like four brothers and 4 or 5 sisters. So there's a lot of us. There's a lot of us.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a big family.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, one lives in Alaska.
Okay.
That's I think she's my youngest sister. And then one lives in Phoenix. She's my dad and his like third or fourth wife. They adopted her when she was in like middle school, so she was a young teenager. And then my dad had a kid. His wife and my ex were pregnant at the same time. So I have a little brother that is the same age as my daughter. Um, and then I have one older sibling. So I'm like the second oldest of like a million other kids. And all of my brothers, all of them, they're all taller than me, even the little 13-year-old.
Oh man. Well, sometimes I don't know. Can't do anything about that. That's
No,
life.
no, but because I was talking to my daughter about it yesterday. 'Cause I don't even know how it came up, and she's just like, you know, oh, because she's short, right? She only comes up to like right here, and I'm like, sweetheart, you're done growing. Like you're gonna be that short forever. And she's like, man, and I'm just like, don't worry. Like all of my brothers, even the one that's your age, they're all taller than me. And she just starts laughing. I said, but I can kick all their asses, so it's okay.
There you
Like
go.
maybe even at the same time, like because I'm the mean one. I'm
Okay,
the
okay.
I'm the I'm the one that gets into all the trouble. I'm the one with the attitude. I'm the one, So I'm that guy. So if they ever get into trouble, they know who to call because I make it very easy for them. There's only one person you need to call, and it's me. So, but yeah, being short, you can't do it. There's nothing you can do about it. And I'm done growing. I've been
Yeah.
done growing for a very, very, very long time. So, but it's cool that you get to hang out with your brother,
Mhm.
whenever you get the chance. So, and how does he like you fighting in the cage, or does he train himself?
My younger brother is also he achieved third degree black belt in Taekwondo as well. So, and he wrestled in high school too. So I actually got him eventually to like wrestle in high school. Actually, the story behind this is the reason why I wrestled three years in Massachusetts and 1 year in Columbia, Missouri, Hickman High School. Actually, I had the privilege to wrestle when Jaden Cox was wrestling there. So so I actually got to like I said, like growing up seeing Anthony Pettis, I've also gotten to see like how greatness is done in the work ethic of greatness on the wrestling side as well. Um, but so uh, my brother was getting out like really in really bad shape to where it was like it wasn't healthy for him. And I had noticed this in photos over like Facebook and MySpace back when that was like still a thing. Um, and and so I had told myself that I was like, dude, you got to go back, go to the same high school as him, get him into wrestling, for his physical health. And is because I felt that like he was always really good with grades, so he was like a super nerd, and he wasn't working out, and it was obvious. So I ended up moving back to Missouri to live with my mom and finish out my high school wrestling career at Hickman, and also got my brother into it. And after that, he got in super good shape as wrestling will do, and he's learned that habit now and he's kept it. So that
That's
was kind
awesome.
of yeah. um, but yeah, no. So he himself is he has a passion for mixed martial arts as well, because he has a passion for martial arts, and he understands what wrestling did for him. Wrestling gave him, the self-discipline to stay physically fit, and that is, that for him was like a great lesson, and he's very appreciative of that. So he admires the sport, and he admires seeing those two aspects put together, and then just himself being a martial artist, he is always open-minded and looking at other techniques and other martial arts. And you see so many different styles that are brought into mixed martial arts, Muay Thai, capoeira, karate, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and then you have wrestling, and then what is it, like sambo, different things like that are all put on Flex. And I think that's amazing to be able to just see all these different martial arts come together. And I would definitely say my brother shares that sentiment. So he is 100% behind me doing mixed martial arts. Long story short.
Okay. I mean, no problems there. Has he, had the itch or the urge to compete?
No, he actually just never really had it. He loved the intensity of wrestling, and I just think that was enough for him. He never really had kind of that.
All right, sorry, I had an incoming spam call there.
We're still good though. You can hear me? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, awesome. So he never really had the drive to keep doing it. I guess you could say looking for that next level or trying to find that. It was enough for him. For me, I missed it too much. I wanted that camaraderie back, and then the second you're in that environment, you want to compete again because you're competing in that gym every day, and so it's just like it's just natural to want to go in there and do it again. Being around it, and for him, it just never really interested him. He was enough as being a spectator.
Okay, and with that all being said, when it comes to training camps and stuff, does he ever help you with the physical element of training?
We used to back when I was fighting in Missouri. He definitely, I rolled with him a lot because he was like a 145er, so he was like right there within my weight class. He's a little shorter than me, just really broad shoulders, so it's like that's why he was a little heavier. And so we would roll, he'd work on me with some kicks and stuff, hold mitts. But like now it's just kind of like he's got his own profession. He's so busy, and it's like we're on like complete different schedules. So I haven't had the privilege of, having him look at my kicks and whatnot. But he's going to be here for this fight, and I'm really excited that it's like this is. He didn't get to go to the last fight. He did watch the pay-per-view though, but he's going to be there in person. I'm excited for that one. So, no, he doesn't really help me train anymore.
Okay. Well, hey, man, he supports it, and whenever he gets the chance, he's either there or watching, and that should be good enough. You know what I mean? So definitely, I'm glad that he supports you, and it sounds like the rest of the family, they're all pretty supportive.
Yeah, no, my mom actually she's like a super like pacifist and very peaceful and like nonviolent, and it is like she cannot watch me compete. And the funny thing is the reason why she says she can't do it, and like I know her, I know she's being 100% true and sincere. It would just be like it's too much for her. Like it would like hurt her heart to watch these other guys like go in there and like hurt each other, and that's like how she views it. And it's just a complete different mentality, and I have to respect that. But she still supports me though. Like she still wants me to go in there do it. She'll ask me about my training, how I'm doing, how I feel about it, and just kind of another thing that she does that she really kind of checks on me is like she'll look me in the eyes and just kind of know like you're not training hard enough. It's like she knows, she can check. So the few times that I've had the opportunity of like being in fight camps and her being around, she's always kind of a good bearing for me, a good anchor.
Well, that's good. Yeah, Mama always knows. Mama always knows.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's pretty fucking cool, man. That's pretty cool. And training out of Victory, that's another solid team. You know that you're getting work over there. Those guys are not going to let you take a day off.
Absolutely. They are a bunch of just they're machines, dude. They're athletes. They are next level athletes, all of them. And it is a privilege to train at that gym. There's just like it's all like it's a younger face coming through Victory right now, but all of us have extreme talent, and it's just like, and we're all like in that 45, 25, 35 range. So it's like we have just a plethora of partners kind of like go around the window. And I mean, we also have like higher weight classes as well, like around I want to say middleweight and even lightweight. those guys too. But the gym has a different type of work ethic under Gilbert Smith. Him having been such a successful professional athlete knows what it takes, and he instills that in every single one of us. And it's just like that's invaluable, to be able to be under his experience and his guidance. This gym is going to be next level, and it's happening, and it's happening now. So it's really cool. I'm honored to be part of Victory MMA.
That's dope, man. That's very dope. Well, it's been nice getting to know you. I'm out, so I need a refill already.
Yep.
Right. But, I wish you good luck on the 21st over at the BK Spectacular for Sparta. It's going to be exciting to see, guys from all over your region, because they typically pull from like Wyoming, Colorado, that sort of area. And I love seeing, that area of the world, or well, the United States, but it's still the world, right? I like seeing you guys compete. And because the wrestling aspect right there is definitely some of the most intense, for sure. So I like seeing that, small competition in itself, right? But the pay-per-view, you're going to have a link so that when people buy it, they can put this little code in there so that you can get some profit. So tell me about that.
I believe I have to double check what my code is, but I'm pretty sure it's my last name, Rojas, Rojas, in all caps. So basically you just, you're going to go on to, I'll be dropping links like in my social media and everything. So, people will know where to go. So you'll follow that link. You'll get to the website where you can order the pay-per-view, and it'll have a promo code up in the right-hand corner, and you just type in my name in all caps. And then that way it makes sure that, I get credit for you watching me. And that way they know that I'm pulling in fans, because at the end of the day, it's also about showing that I have a following.
Yeah. And, it's all about putting some of that right in your back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that too. Because I like seeing you guys, make this your primary career. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because this is what you guys, ultimately, this is how you want to feed your families and, buy your houses and your cars and all that shit. So definitely want to push that as much as possible. So I will go ahead and get with Shelby and the guys over at Sparta to make sure I have all the information, so we include it in the description of this interview. But I can't let you go without letting you get some shout outs in. So if you got any family, training partners, friends, coaches, whatever, man, take the floor.
All right. I guess honestly, I just want to thank everybody at Victory MMA. There's just so many different names, I want to keep it short, but it's like Alonzo, Elijah, and Garrison. These are 3 other 135 pounders. All 3 of you guys have absolutely been, paramount in preparing for this training camp. You guys are the guys I spar with. You're the guys that I do mitts where, all our combo training with. So without you guys, I couldn't have done this. So thank you very much in getting me ready for this August 21st fight. Next, of course, I got to thank my mom for always being there and supporting me. Growing up, she was the one that paid for all those taekwondo lessons. She's the one that helped pay for all that wrestling gear. So it's like she's absolutely been supportive about this journey. And same thing for my father. My father was at all my wrestling meets when I was up in Massachusetts living with him, and he too also helped buy all that wrestling gear and was very supportive in me. My father has always been supportive in any endeavor that I've done. So thank you for that. And then Coach Gilbert Smith, you have been an absolute inspiration to me, and you are guiding my life in a better direction, and you are preparing me to become a professional athlete, and that is a dream. You are helping me accomplish that, and that's priceless, and thank you for that.
That was that was good, man. That was good. A little tough when you're put on the spot like that, right? A little tough, but I felt that in here, man. I felt that. That was very good, very good. So August 21st, we're not too far.
It's fight week, dude. It's Monday.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
It's this Saturday.
So we're cutting weight. We're gonna make it to that scale like a professional.
Absolutely, sure. Yes, sir.
Okay. And then we're gonna go in there and we're gonna hunt for our second victory. See what I did there? See what I did there? It was pretty good. The Huntsman is gonna get it done here over at the BK Spectacular, August 21st. I cannot wait to see you compete, my friend. So until next time, we'll see you later.
All right, absolutely.